Hey, this is Mr. Wynn, and today's video is about scatter plots and lines of regression. Do note that this section requires a calculator that has regression functions or capabilities. So first, make sure you know to find the correlation and strength from a scatter plot. Basically, the correlation is the slope. If it's a positive slope, you have a positive correlation. If it's a negative slope, you have a negative correlation, and you have no slope, no correlation. The strength comes from how close your dots are to that line. So for the positive correlation, all these dots are really close to this line right here. So that's a strong correlation. This one, yes, there's a negative slope, so it's a negative correlation, but the points are farther away. They're not as close, they're not as tight to the line. So that's a weaker correlation. Also be able to figure out the line of best fit or prediction equation, which that again requires a calculator. So here are the steps in a calculator for regression. Use a graphing calculator, but you press Stat, Edit to enter the data, put in the numbers. Then to get the regression equation, you press Stat again and go over right to Calc. You go down to 4, which says linreg ax plus b. Enter, 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 and then you write down the equation. Use 3 decimals, and once you have that equation, you plug in any x to predict any future values. So here's example 1. Here's a table of mean selling prices for homes for 60 years. We're going to figure out the price. So A says make a scatter plot and line of fit and describe the correlation. B says write the equation. And C says predict the price of a new home for year 8. I'm actually going to do this out of order. The most important thing is the prediction equation. So you should be able to see this. In your calculator, you turn it on. You press Stat underneath delete. You press Edit, so enter. You type the numbers in. L1 will be your year. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And L2 will be your Y's. It'll be the prices. So 154.5, 166.4, 181.9, 207.0, which you don't need to write, 228.7, and 273.5. Alright, once you type it in, maybe press Stat again, go right to Calc, and go down to 4, linreg. Press Enter, just go down to Calculate, press Enter again, Enter. You have this equation. It tells you the equation formula, y equals ax plus b, and it gives you a and b, so you got to fill that in yourself. So I'm going to write that down, 3 decimals. So my prediction equation is y equals 23.057 x plus b, so it's plus 144.357. Alright, so that's B. That's to write the prediction equation. From this equation, I can do a lot of things. That prediction equation also is the line of fit. That's the graph of the line of fit. The correlation, my slope M is positive. Since that's a positive slope, there's a positive correlation. I already know that. Alright, predict the selling price of a new for year 8. Well, the years are the x's, so I know x is 8. I'm going to do substitution. I just plug in 8 for x. So if x equals 8, I use that. Then y equals 23.057x is 8 plus 144.357. I'm just going to use a calculator, type that in. So I'll use it on my hand, 23.057 times 8 plus 144.357. My final answer is 328.813. Alright, so I could just put that point up here. So at year 8, the number is about 328, which makes sense because as the years go up, the price goes up. And that's in thousands of dollars, so it's $328,000. All right, next one. Vehicles use this information to determine or plot the data, determine the graph, line of regression, and figure out how many vehicles will be registered in 2020. All right, so same thing. I'm going to use a calculator to figure out the regression equation. So in your calculator, make sure the data from 4 is gone. You clear it. Make sure you have L1 and L2. If you delete it, you have to reset the calculator. Second plus 712. For here, the year is my X, 2000, 2005, 2007, 2008, 2009, and L2 being my Y's, 14,070, 17,470, 18,072, 18,208, and 18,208. So same thing, once you have the data entered, stat again, right to calc, down to 4, enter, 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 enter. It gives you that equation. Again, it gives you y equals x plus b, but it tells you a and b. You need to write that down. 3 decimal places, rounding if necessary. So I'm going to write that down. Y equals 480.858x plus b. B is, make sure, yep, b is negative 947,299.913. Alright, there's my prediction equation. I can figure out if there's a correlation or not by the slope. Slope is positive. Positive slope means positive correlation. I could graph that on a line if I wanted to, but they wouldn't predict for the year 2020. The year 2020, X is our year, so that means X equals 2020. What's Y? So I'm going to do substitution, just plug in. So in the calculator, I'm going to do 480.858 times 2020 minus that 947,299.913. Again, this is just something I put straight in the calculator just like that. I wouldn't even try to do it myself. So 480.858 times 2020 minus 947,299.913. I get the answer 24,033.247. So in the year 2020, I expect 24,000, about 24,000 to be registered. So does that make sense? Well, if 2020 went here, should it be around 24,000? Because they don't care about the decimals. Yeah, 11 years later, 6,000 more cars. Makes sense. It's going up. All right, I'll end you with this practice problem. Now, I know you might not have a calculator. If you don't have it, that's fine. Don't worry about it. But if you do, try it. You should get 80.7 years. All right, this is Mr. Wynn. Thanks for watching. See you in class.